وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي أحيانا بعد ما أماتنا وإليه النشور. We thank Allah Azza wa Jalla for raising us to life after taking our life, and unto Him we all shall return. We are still looking at the book Ahi Kayfa Haluka Ma'al Quran. Oh my dear brother, how is your relationship with the Quran? Inshallah ta'ala, the book has been pasted on the platform for those of us who wishes to be following as we are reading. And also, if you wish to have the soft copy, it's up to 30 pages. I think it's up to 30 pages. Yeah, 30 pages. So if you have your money, I will be able to print it out for you. Instead of going to the business center, I will use my printer, inshallah. All you just need to do is to pay 1,000 naira. Yes, for my paper. So inshallah ta'ala, we are going to be taking the next chapter on this book. He said, Ahi Al-Quran Mizan. Al-Quran Mizanun. He said, my dear brother, the Quran is a scale. The Quran is a scale. It's a scale at which you can use to measure yourself. So if you want to measure, or you want to know who you are, you measure yourself with the Quran. That is why he said, فَهَلْ وَزَنْتَ نَفْسَكَ فَهَلْ وَزَنْتَ نَفْسَكَ. Have you been able to weigh yourself with the Quran? Have you been able to weigh yourself with the Quran? So weighing ourselves is not the amount of digits in our account balance. Like I've already established in the past, the best person is the person who has the Quran. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ. So the best person is not the one who has millions of naira without the Quran. So, but if he has millions of naira together with the Quran, فَهُوَ أَفْضَلُ. But if he has millions of naira without the Quran, then he is not the best. Because the best is the one who learns the Quran and teaches the Quran. May Allah make us among the best. So how do we weigh ourselves with the Quran? He said, Ayyul Muslim, oh my Muslim brother, La huda, there is no guidance. Illa dallana ilayhi Allah ta'ala. Except that Allah Azza wa Jalla has already guided us to it. In this Quran, fi kitabihil aziz. In this noble book, in this Quran, Allah Azza wa Jalla, please can you help me with the Quran? Allah Azza wa Jalla, He has guided us to all guidance. All that we need is in the Quran. You have no reason whatsoever to say that there is something that you needed but you could not get it in the Quran. Because the Quran, it is a solution to everything. Do you understand? So that is why the one who has the Quran has no reason to complain, because the solution is right before you. The solution is right before you. That's why one of the Salaf said, if you want to speak to Allah Azza wa Jalla, then you should what? You should go into prayer, salat. But if you want Allah to speak to you, pick the Quran. Pick the Quran. So that is why it is not what? It is not befitting that the one who is a carrier of the Quran should humiliate himself to the one who is not a carrier of the Quran. Rather, the people who are not people of the Quran should humble themselves to the people of the Quran. But unfortunately, most times, the people who has the Quran, they do not honor themselves. They don't know the honor that they are carrying. So you will see them using the Quran to beg. Now he said, وَدَعَانَ إِلَيْهِ نَبِيِّنَا sallallahu alayhi wasallam. There is no goodness except that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has also brought to us through the Quran. Wa ma siwa zalik, whatever is other than what is in the Quran, whatever guidance that you think there is such guidance that is not found in the Quran, lan yakuna huda li ahad, then you should know, have it at the back of your mind, that it is not a guidance for anyone. It is not even a guidance to start with. He said, Ahi, oh my brother, Ya Allah, Ya Allahu ma aksar tilka al-mahasin allati adaballahu ta'ala biha khalquhu. He said that by Allah, how many of those mahasin, how many of those good traits, how many of those good behaviors, allati adaballahu ta'ala biha khalquhu, which Allah Azza wa Jalla has taught his creation through the Quran. Had it been Allah did not bring guidance through Islam, there wouldn't have been different between us and animals. And that is why you see people who do not work with the guidance of the Quran, you will see them behaving like animals. I'm not the one that said it. Allah Azza wa Jalla said it. Ulaika kal an'am baluhum adall. They are people who are like cattle. What do cattle do? The cattle, the only thing that concerns them is how to eat. How to eat, how to satisfy their belly, then mate with the other animal, the female animal, then sleep. So if your life is revolving around these three things, then you are behaving like an animal, because your life is devoid of guidance. There's so much to life more than what we have mentioned. وَيَاللَّهُ مَا أَكْثَرُ الْخَيْرِ لِمَنْ بَحَثَهُ فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. He said, by Allah, how many of those good things, how many of those, hired good things that is contained in the Quran, for the one who seek it. There are so many good things that is found in the Quran. That is why I continue to encourage us. If you are one who has been able to learn how to read the Quran, you are at one level, number one level. Go to the next level to know the meaning of the Quran. You must know it. It is your guide to Jannah. Without knowing it, you cannot be sure of the road. There was one day we were traveling from Kwara State coming to Abuja, and we did not observe our compass very well, Google map very well, and we missed the road. Only Allah saved us that day, because the road we went and entered, we were hoping that we were fearing that kidnappers should not storm the road, because there is no any other motor again, and we have already gone far. Before we check, no motor is coming again and no motor coming back at our back. What has caused that? A mistake in our what? Google map. The Quran is your Google map. Now if you do not study it well, in order not to make mistake, and you now depended on somebody like me, human being, to guide you, it means that your faith is tied to my faith. If I misguide, you will misguide. Do you now see how dangerous it is for you to be following people? For you not to know between the lines of the Quran. It means if I tell you whatever in the Quran, you cannot confirm it. You must learn the Quran. You must learn the meaning of the Quran. That is what this book is encouraging us to do. As much as we are reading it, let's strive to also know the meaning. And wallah, the Quran has been made easy. Everything about it is easy. It's easy. But it is not for lazy people. It is for the hard-working people. That is why he said that for the one who is seeking it. وَبِاللَّهِ تِلْكَ وَيَاللَّهُ تِلْكَ هِيَ السَّعَادَةِ تَتَرَبَّى فِي ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ الْعَزِيزِ. He said by Allah, تِلْكَ هِيَ السَّعَادَةِ. You see this Quran, هِيَ السَّعَادَةِ. It is the happiness that you are actually seeking. Everybody wants joy, happiness, success. It is the Quran. Your success, your happiness lies in the Quran. تَتَرَبَّى فِي ذَلِكَ. It resides in that Quran. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ الْعَزِيزِ. Your happiness in this dunya and your salvation in the hereafter lies in the Quran. وَيَاللَّهُ مِن نُورٍ وَهُدَى يَشَعَ فِي مِنْ هَذَا الْكِتَابِ طَاهِرٍ. He said, by Allah, nur, light, and guidance radiates from this pure book of Allah Azza wa Jal. He said, Ahi, anta Muslim. My brother, you are a Muslim. Anta Muslim. You are a Muslim. وَمَنْهَجُكَ فِي هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةِ ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ الْعَزِيزِ. He said, your manhaj, your dustur, your constitution, which you will use to regulate and navigate your life, it is this glorious Quran, my brother. You want to live a good life? It is this glorious Quran you are going to need to live a good life, to navigate a better life for yourself. And that is why when you don't have the Quran, you will be doing chali, as in anyhow, without guidance, because you don't even know what is and which is which. Wahudan Nabi al-Hadi, and the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is contained in the Sunnah. The Prophet is al-Hadi. He is the one who will guide. Innaka latahdi ila siratin mustaqim. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is the one who will guide to that which is the straight path. He said, Ahi, my brother, fi kitabillahi ta'ala ma ahbartuka bihi min al-khayr al-azim. He said, you see all this goodness that we have been talking about, that I have been informing you. He said, my brother, it is in the book of Allah. Stop lamenting. All that you need to succeed in life is in the book of Allah. Wallahi, there are treasures contained in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is why there is no one that can replicate this Quran. Do you have revised standard version of the Quran? What do you revise? Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one who has revised it. You want to correct Allah. So the way it was during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the way it is up to now. Don't you even see the miraculous nature of the Quran, that even little children are committing the Quran to memory? Little children of 7 years will commit the Quran to memory. Little children of 3 years will have memorized even Juz Amma. Is that not a miracle? Which book can be memorized like that? Do you know of any? Because I don't know of any. No book. It is only the Quran that has that miraculous nature, and people are memorizing it without even knowing the meaning. They are not Arabs. If you think it is easy, just take any handout of English and try to memorize it, and come back after 1 year and please still do it for me. That is why the Quran is such a book that it is protected from any form of manipulation. They are trying out their best in order to cause confusion. Even Fatah, Fatah Kesara Dhamma, it cannot be tampered with in the Quran. Because the moment you tampered with it, the Quran is in the heart of the Muslims, not on paper. The moment you tampered with it, every Muslim will know. If the Quran is tampered with, we will tell the whole world to just calm down. We will reproduce the Quran copy in Guida here. Yes. This one will bring Surah Al-Fatiha, this one will bring Surah Al-Ikhlas, this one will bring Surah Al-Imran. Before you know it, our Quran is already completed again. Because the Quran is in the heart of the Muslims. This cannot be said to any other books. If you throw all the books of the world, throw them into the ocean, burn them. And that is why we laugh at those people who are burning the Quran. After you burn the whole Quran, have you burned the one in our heart? Every year, we produce Hufaz. Nigeria is the number one as far as Hufaz is concerned. Don't you know that? Go and Google it. Nigeria is number one as far as memorization of the Quran is concerned. Nigeria is number one. There are some villages, some communities that it is not possible for you to clock 20 years in that community without you memorizing the Quran. Now tell me, is that Quran not a miracle? Of course it is. Now he said that falayta shiri, I really wish. He said, I really wish. Ma huwa nasibuka minhu. My dear brothers, what is your share of these good things we have been talking about in the Quran? How much is your share from the Quran? How many percentage have you taken from the Quran? How many percentage? Or you are one who does not even care to read. Or you just keep it on the shelf. You don't read it. Or you don't even try to know its meaning. Your family is not guided by it. There is no Quran recitation in your house. Rather, it is boom, 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 music all the time. A Muslim. What is your share of the Quran? How much do you love to recite the Quran? How much do you love to listen to the Quran? Or it is just to be listening to music? That is your problem. Up till now, some Muslims are still having music in their phone, even in this Ramadan. Fear Allah, O Muslims. Now he said, Hal anta min al-muhtadin bihudahu? Are you among the one who is guided by the guidance of the Quran? That is the question for you to answer. Are you one? Look at your life. Look at the way you move your life every day, 24 hours, 7 days in a week, 54 weeks in a year. Now ask yourself, is your movement, all your utterances, is it guided by the Quran? All that you do, is it guided by the Quran? Remember the topic we are talking about? Al-Quran mizanun. The Quran is a scale. فَهَلْ وَزَنْتَ نَفْسَكَ? Have you weighed yourself? Weigh yourself with the Quran. Have you been guided by it? هَلْ أَنْتَ مِنَ الْمُسْتَدِئِينَ بِدِيَائِهِ? Are you one who is upon light? Do you take from the light of the Quran to light up your life? Do you actually do that? Is your life governed by the Quran? فَهَلْ أَنْتَ مِنَ الْمُقْتَبِسِينَ مِنْ مَحَاسِنِ بِهَائِهِ? Are you one who take from its beauty, from the beauty of its splendor? Do you take from the beauty of the Quran to beautify yourself with it? You know, Rasulullah SAW, his wife was asked regarding him. They asked Aisha radiallahu anha. They said, describe the behavior of your husband for us. He said, hulukuhu al-Quran. He said, hulukuhu al-Quran. His behavior is the Quran. Now, can your wife say that about you? When you get home, ask your wife, what is my behavior? If she give another different answer, ask her, is my behavior not the way Quran wants? Then you will get the shocking answer of your life. هل أنت من المتحكمين إلى تشريعه? Are you one who refer to the laws of to the law of Sharia? Do you judge with the laws of the Quran in your house, within yourself, in the way you relate with people? Do you use the laws of Allah, the Quran, to judge? When issues are before you, do you use the Quran to judge, or you use your own desire? He said, Ahi, oh my brother, innaka lan tazin nafsaka bimizan azdaku min kitabillahi ta'ala. He said, oh my brother, you will never be able to weigh yourself in any scale that is more truthful than the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla. There is no scale that is more truthful for you to weigh yourself more than the Quran. So for that, in that case, فَلْتُحَاسِبْ أَخِي نَفْسَكْ بِهَذَا الْمِيزَانُ الصَّادِقِ. In that case, you should evaluate yourself, account yourself, oh my brother, with this true scale, which is the Quran. لِتَعْلَمْ أَيْنَ أَنْتَ. So that you will be able to know where are you. So that you'll be able to know where exactly are you. Qala Al-Hasan ibn Muhammad As-Sabbah. Al-Hasan ibn Muhammad As-Sabbah rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, Alzimu kitaballah. Alzimu kitab Allah. He said, stick to the book of Allah. My brothers, let's stick to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. Today we are having 4th of Ramadan. How many of the Quran have you recited? Or you are still lazy, doing nothing in this Ramadan. When people are seeking blessing, you are not even doing anything. Rather, you are still playing music around. وَتَتَّبِعُ مَا فِيهِ مِنَ الْأَمْثَالِ. He said you should follow all the amsal, bimana, all the parables contained in the Quran. Follow it. وَكُونُوا فِيهِ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْبَصْرِ. He said you should be among the people of insight in the Quran. Be among people of insight. It shouldn't be that they open Quran everywhere they open. I don't know. They open this one, you don't know. They open Surah Al-Baqarah, you don't know. You know, somebody came to pray in one of the stories. They said he came to pray, and the Imam took a very long surah. After the whole salat, he asked that what is this Imam? Which surah did he take that is so long like this? They told him it was Surah Al-Baqarah. They said, what is the meaning of Surah Al-Baqarah? They said that is the surah of the cow. Because Baqarah means cow. He said, no wonder the surah is so big. The next time he came to Salat again, and the Imam used a very short surah, which is Surah Al-Fil. After Salat, he said, this surah today is a very short one. Please, which surah was that the Imam recited that was very, very short? They told him that it was Surah Al-Fil. And it was surah of what? Elephant. So look at the way ignorance played out there. He thought that no, he was actually about to enter Salat rather. He was about to enter Salat, and he asked before he entered that this Imam, the last time I entered his prayer, he nearly break my waist. That what is the surah he was taking, he is going to take. So they now told him it is Surah Al-Fil. They said, what is the name of Surah Al-Fil? He said, Surah of Elephant. He said, Kai, I cannot pray behind him. Because if he used cow the other time, and now he want to use elephant, that means I am in for a very serious problem. He ran away from the Imam. Unknown to him, that Surah Al-Fil is even shorter. The Surah of Elephant is shorter than the Surah of Cow. So he is using cow and may Allah, may He grant us knowledge, beneficial knowledge for that matter. He said, Rahimallahu abdan. May Allah have mercy on that servant. Arada nafsahu, that presented himself, wa amalahu, and his work and his deeds, ala kitabillah, before the book of Allah. Fa in wafaqa kitaballah, if he is in agreement with the book of Allah, if his deed, his action is in agreement with the book of Allah, hamidallah, he praises Allah. Wasa'alahu aziyada, then he asks Allah for increase. But wa in halafa kitab Allah, but if he goes against the book of Allah, if his action, his deeds is contrary to the book of Allah, a'taba nafsahu, he will blame himself, he will reprimand himself. Waraja min qarib, and he will return back and do tawbah. Ahifillah, oh my brother, oh my Muslim brother, falnazin nafsaka bihadha alkitab alaziz. Weigh yourself with this noble book, weigh yourself with this noble Quran. Wala tansa ahi, do not forget, oh my brother, Kama ahbartuka, as I have already informed you, annaka lan tajid al-fadail, that you will never see any fadail, any good, any virtue, any honor, wal mahasin, and any beauty, any good things, bikimaliha, in its complete form, in its complete package, illa fi kitabillahi ta'ala, except that you will find it in the book of Allah. How you should relate with your father, it is in the book of Allah. It is not taught in geography. It is not taught in social study. It is not taught anywhere. It is only the Quran that taught you how to relate with your parent? Or is it written anywhere in the Constitution of Nigeria? You can even arrest your parent in the Constitution. Have you don't know? You can arrest your parent, take him to police, but he's snoring too much. His snoring is disturbing the house. You will sue your father to court. We have seen it in the past now. It is the Quran that will teach you how to regard your parent. It is the Quran that will teach you how to relate with your neighbors. It is the Quran that will teach you how to relate with your husband and wife. It is the Quran that will teach you how to worship Allah. Does the Constitution tell us how to relate with Allah? Does it even recognize Allah? You understand? It is the Constitution. It is this Allah's Constitution that will tell you what you should eat and what you should not eat. Imagine there was no Quran. That is how we would have been eating pork meat and dog meat. You'll be carrying different nyama nyama. And that is why in those countries that eat every kind of food, you can see all the diseases are always coming from there. The last time they give us COVID-19, I know they are planning another one to give us again now. May Allah protect us. You hardly see anyone coming from the Muslim land. Why? Because everything has been perfected for us. A pastor has this to say before we finish. A pastor has this to say. He said, I so much admire the life of the Muslims. They asked him why. He said, the way everything has been elucidated for the Muslims in the Quran will never make them to have high blood pressure. He said, because everything is already there. All you just need to do is to work with it. But for the one who does not have, he will just be testing and testing. If you work out, so you don't work out with that. If you don't work out, you don't work out. He said, but for the Muslims, he doesn't have any fear. If a Muslim dies now, the next thing they want to bury the Muslim. Nothing like leaving him in the mortuary or whatever. Everything has been perfected. Even how his, inheritance, how it will be shared, has been taken care of by Allah. You don't need to disturb yourself. Then you will not be writing. Before one child, you will not say that my own is bigger than the other person's own. You don't know what is to cause problem in many homes. After the father had already died, the children will now begin to fight. There is no such thing in a Muslim home. Why? Because the Quran has taken care of that one for you. You understand? The home that is devoid of the Quran, what will happen? The wife will tell that it's 50-50. But in a Muslim home, what will happen? Allah Azza wa Jalla has already said, Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa. So for that reason, the wife will bow. But look at what is happening in the Western world today. A woman will come and get married to you in the hope that she will divorce you and take half of your wealth and go. Or even more than half. And leave you with nothing. Look at that man in, I don't know which club he is coaching now. Guardiola. Pep Guardiola. The wife divorced him recently. Is it Pep Guardiola now? That is his name. The wife divorced him recently. And took all of his, hard-earned money. He took it and go. Does Islam say that? No. Everything has been stated clearly how we should divorce. But if you do not follow that, you are seeing whatever you are saying, you are the one that is the problem, not the Quran. Because you are the one that refuses not to follow the Quran. So he said that وَمَا دَلَّكَ إِلَيْهِ نَبِيِّ مِنَ السُنَّةِ الطَّاهِرَةِ. And whatever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has already guided you to from the pure sunnah, فَالْتَهْتَدِ أَهِ بِهُدَى اللَّهِ ta'ala. He said you should guide yourself, my brother, with the guidance of Allah. وَالْتَأَمُّرْ بِهِ قَلْبَكَ وَبَيْتَكَ. And you should inhabit your heart with the Quran. Inhabit your home with the Quran. Imam Qatada has this to say finally. He said, إِمَرُوا بِهِ قُلُوبُكُمْ وَأَمَرُوا بِهِ بُيُوتِكُمْ. He said, inhabit your heart with the Quran. Inhabit your home with the Quran. So we want to use, in this month of Ramadan, we want to use Quran to design everywhere. If you used to listen to music before, use this opportunity of Ramadan to delete everything. Delete it. And pack different reciters of the Quran, put it inside your phone. Anywhere you are going, be listening to the Quran. You are inside the car, play the Quran. Yes. If they said it is disturbing them, don't mind them. That is why they are also using music to disturb us inside their own car. You understand? It is because it is the Quran. That is why they hate it. Had it been you play music, they will be dancing. In your home, let the recitation of the Quran be heard. If they don't used to hear Quran in your house before, in this Ramadan, start playing Quran. If you don't have Quran, I can share some for you. Or you can download. You can download. Go to internet. Say download Quran MP3. And it will download complete Quran for you. Any reciter of your choice. Any reciter of your choice. There is Sudais, Shuraim, so many of them. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, may He guide us with the guidance of the Quran. Let us go back and weigh ourselves with the scale of the Quran, so that you can know who are you, so that you'll be able to know who exactly are you. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, may He make us better in this month of Ramadan. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.